To stream for today. 30 minutes really is kind of all I've got, so I'm going to get right into it. Not going to work on anything critical today. I want to just mess around and have some fun with a little animation idea I had. So what I'm going to do is get to I'm going to re-render this 3D surface here because the idea I have is related to animating the size of triangles that make up a 3D surface. And yeah, and then I'll go from there. Okay, so we have a surface there. What I actually want to do though is get a grid that's 16 by 16, and instead of doing a cylinder, we're going to def sphere with a radius of 150 as well. And there we can, all we have to do is go change the triangles here. Instead of using cylinder, we just use sphere. Saving that, there we go. We've got a sphere. Pretty cool looking thing in my opinion. So now what I actually want to do is have this sort of animation idea for each of these triangles where to animate this we basically conj onto this thing some animate tag, which has some properties in it. So since this is a polygon, we can animate the points. Is that right? Let's see here. We do SVG. Oh, it's actually a path. So we're actually, just as a starting point to make sure that this will actually work, and this is wrong, animate the attribute D. Values is going to be 3 different things, so it's going to be, it's all in a string. It's going to be something, something else, and then something else again. The SVG animate tag. I've forgotten a few of the attributes, so its attribute name is actually this. Values is that, correct? Duration, let's do let's do 2 seconds. We can change that, of course. And then we do repeat count, and then we'll just start with indefinite. There we go. Right, so these values are going to be incorrect initially. We're going to have, actually here we want to, I do want to create a let statement here. I want to let D be the original, right, if I do SVG slash path polygon for some path or for some list of points, right? I have D is going to be get in SVG slash path polygon of try. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do this here. SVG slash path polygon of try. So then instead of this here, we can actually do P and then conj these together. And then instead of this here, we can just do P. Get in 1D. That gets us the string of that D element. I think this will work. And so what we're going to have here actually is these values are going to be a little different. But let me finish this indentation mess here for a moment. Let's make this middle one here right away. Let's make it M00, L, 00, L, 00, Z. Okay, so the values is going to be string. String the value D, semicolon, right, with this string here, and ending with another semicolon D like this. Let's, oops, go like that. Okay, I think this will actually work. No, something's wrong. Why is that? Okay, there's probably some kind of syntax error here. That's okay, we'll have a look. Oh, probably missing. Let's give that a shot. I think. Hey, there we go. Okay. Yikes. That's pretty weird. That's fun, but that's not what I was thinking. Right, so what's happening is every single one of the triangles that make up this shape are being translated to this center point here. So just out of curiosity, I want to see what happens if I do -200. It's going to look weird. I guess it's not that weird, it's just getting shrunk into the exact corner there. Okay, so now what I want to do is see if there's a good way that I can calculate this, the bounding box center of the triangle, and then have it shrink into that position. So I have, I think, oh, it's probably geom slash bounding box. Yeah. I have a silo.geom so I can do bounding box center, and it should take a list of points. So if I do 0, 0, 10, 10, and some other set of coordinates, the bounding box center is returned. Okay, so using that, I should be able to get the bounding box center of each of the triangles. Yeah, so let's do that. So let's do C is just going to be G/BB center of tri. Then D2 is just going to be string together. Oh no, actually I can do this. I could just do SVG/path polygon. No, I can do this. Get in this thing, path polygon of repeat 3C. So it makes a polygon where all 3 points are just 0, or just at the center point, I mean. And get in D to get the string. So that's the D2 string. So this can theoretically now be D2 like that. Let's see if that will work. Yeah, that looks cool. It looks kind of wrong, but it looks kind of cool. Okay, that's pretty neat. Now I want to do something here, string. Instead of 12, it's just going to be rand int between what should it be between? Let's see, 10. But we want it to be at least 1 second long, so we always add 1, because randint can return zeros, I think. This is silly. Let's do it between 2. Yeah. It can indeed return 0, which is not what we want for the duration. This is confusing. This looks cool. Let's go fill the slate gray and see what happens when I do that. It's gotta be between 5 and 10 seconds. This looks kind of cool. Let's just see, is there anything else fun we can do with this? We can do triangulate. Yeah, so we can do something kind of crazy with this. It's actually, pardon me, 2 and 8. Let's also they're not quite random enough in their speed. It'd be cool to have some inverted in terms of, so here, right, I've got them all going D2. I had them all going from their growth, from their triangle position and the 0 position. But if you invert that, like if you randomly invert some of them, you can get this cool kind of more oscillatory kind of thing, I guess. Right? They're all kind of, they're on different times, but they're kind of in phase. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense really. Let's change the stroke width, fill. Let's make the fill string RGB. Some number, oh, sorry, it's got to be RGB rand int 255 and a comma, right? When in doubt, throw a bit of randomness in there, see if it looks cool. Rand int 255 is also true on the end there. And then you want to close that with a closing bracket, I think. Let's see if that works. It should give us a random color. It does indeed. That looks hideous. I love it. We also should then, let's see here, if we do opacity, rand, because opacity is between 0 and 1, I think. It kind of works. Okay, now the stroke width 2 is too much. Let's do 0.5, and the stroke, ooh, what color do we want that to be? Also, let's get rid of the axes here. The color randomness, I don't know if I love it. Let's instead do this. Let's do this color. See if that looks good. It looks okay. I also realized this should be, let's only do it like that. How about that? See, that's too fast. That looks pretty good. That's kind of cool. Okay, now let's try one more thing here. I have the ability to create where did I define it? I had a random point generating thing somewhere. Did I do it in here? It might be here. Random int point. Random points is what I was thinking of. Okay, so what I can do random points How am I trying to do this? Let's see. Oops. Of course that doesn't end. Let me think about this. Well, I can do this here. I can do def random grid, which I had before. Maybe I deleted it. I think I may have deleted it out of foolishness. That's okay. Not a big deal. Let me see. I'm running out of time. This will be the last thing I do probably before I pack it up for the day. Let me also, before I do the randomness idea, let me go ahead and do def random grid. Let's close that for a second. I'm gonna add into here a rectangle of size 400 400 SVG / style element fill is gonna be I had another color somewhere in here. 2E344 5 or something like that. I don't remember the color, but that might look nice. We'll see. Okay, so that should add a background color. It does indeed. That looks pretty good. It does make it hard to see the stroke. That's pretty cool. I like how that looks. Okay, next thing. That looks nice. That's I think that's pretty cool as like a little result just for kicks. But let's also see if I can get this random grid thing working for a minute here. I have to do well, let's make the random grid be map v. This function is going to be divide the value by 100, and what we're going to do here is take 100 of dt / random points in the range 100 100. So what that should let us do, that should work, and then we should be able to go here and do XF triangles. Instead of running it on the grid here, we can run it on the random grid, and that should get us a really weird looking mesh. That didn't work. Wonder why. Something's wrong. Let's have a look at the console here. Nth not supported on this. Oh, right. I can't do this because it's not a single value. It's a 2D point. So this, let's get it back to visual for a moment there. So we've got something working here. So this actually, if I do let me see here. If I concatenate a list of points, apply concat, yeah. So if I do this, apply concat to that, that will work here, and then I just have to go back here and do partition 2 of that whole thing. Really roundabout approach, but that should work. Okay, so that seems to not be giving an error, but let's try this. Nope, something's still going wrong. Right, so let me go ahead and try to take this here and have a look here. Partition is not partition. Well, let's instead do something like, let's try this instead. Well, let's do one more thing really quick here. Let's def random grid as partition by 2 of take 200 of repeatedly rand. That might work. It does. Okay, that looks way weird, but that looks really cool. So what I just did here, repeatedly rand will repeatedly generate a float value between 0 and 1. It'll repeatedly run the function rand, which generates a single value between 0 and 1. If you run it repeatedly, you'll keep getting an infinite sequence of random float numbers. And if you just take 200 of those and partition them by 2, that gives you 100 unique points in a random grid, and then you can use those points and run it through the triangulation, the Delaunay triangulation, to get triangles from those points, and then you map that 2D triangulation over the sphere, and then you get this, and then for each of those triangles you just run this little thing here. So you get the center point, you get the and then you just create the animation with those various string types, which I think is pretty awesome. And if we want to double this, we can take 400 to get 200 points in that random grid thing, right? So it looks even more jumbled. I don't like the color. I want to try like it, but it's not working for me. The random opacity is pretty cool though. You get this weird, you really get some like sharp shards at the bottom and the tops of the sphere. This is pretty cool. I think this is fun. You could even randomly kind of change the scaling of things and whatnot. It's pretty neat if you ask me. Let me try one last thing before I go. Well, two last things. Let's double the points again, so it'll be even slower, but that looks kind of neat. Let's synchronize this duration. Oh, that might not work. Oh, it does work. That doesn't look cool though. I mean, it does, but make it 8. And then the last thing I wanted to try, I'm gonna run this random triangulation on the cylinder just for kicks. So if I go here and change this to cylinder, how is that gonna look? Yeah. It looks ridiculous. It's weird. I like it. Neat. Okay, let's get this randomized thing here. Cool. Okay, let's pop back the sphere here. Let's bring this back down to a respectable 400. That looks pretty cool. Let's do 75. It'd be even cooler if they would go in 3D space, you know? But that'll be a problem for another time. Because what I have to do right now actually is get going. Got stuff I need to participate in. So it's been, actually, I had a really good time, kind of a little sprint stream of an idea here, just generating a kind of fun random animation. I think that was a lot of fun. But like I said, I do have to get going. So if you're watching this at some other time, thanks, I really appreciate that. Please go ahead, follow if you're on the Twitch channel, or subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube or anything like that. Any little bit of help like that is really appreciated and lets me kind of build out my channel and community over time. So that would be awesome. Anyway, I had a great time. I hope you had a good time watching, and I hope you have a good day or evening or whatever you're doing. Have a good one. I'll be back later.